What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Winnipeg Jets and what they may look to do on the defense market at the trade deadline, because a lot has changed, a lot has come out, and some things have changed, and there's some players that I thought would be a really good fit in Winnipeg that I'm not so sure will be even available or available to Winnipeg at the trade deadline. So we're going to be talking about that first, and then we're going to be talking about who I think Winnipeg could pivot to and maybe look at the deadline. I would imagine that the right D position is where they're going to look to upgrade, as right now it's Dylan DeMello, Neil Pionk, and then Nate Schmidt and or Logan Stanley. With the contender that the Winnipeg Jets have and how good they are as a full team, I think that it's pretty obvious that right D is definitely the weakest position right now. If they're able to move Neil Pionk down to the third pairing to play with Dylan Sandberg, I think that's perfect. And you can dial his minutes back a little bit and bring in a guy that can contribute to the top four. But who is available? Who is available on the defense market right now? Well, Noah Hanifin is number one on the board, but I don't think that the Jets will be making a move for Noah Hanifin. Why? Because Hanifin is a UFA for one thing. They would have to re-sign him at the end of the year. It's going to be a big package for Noah Hanifin. They don't have a first-round pick anymore, as it was traded to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for Sean Monahan. So that makes it hard enough to put a package together to try to trade for him, but also he wants to play in America. So, being a UFA, the Jets don't have any control. He's going to walk to market next year, and he's going to play for a US-based team. And, that's been confirmed by Elliot Friedman. He believes that he will be signing with the US team this offseason. So we'll see what happens with Noah Hanifin, but I don't think he'll be a Winnipeg Jet. Moving on, same team, the Calgary Flames, they have Chris Tanev, and Chris Tanev would be a lovely addition. I would die for Chris Tanev on this blue line. I think he's still one of the best options available, and I still think a possibility to an extent for Winnipeg. However, right now Calgary was kind of, asking for that second round pick. That's kind of where the talks have started. And a lot of teams have been lining up with, twos, threes even, twos and threes. But I think Calgary's waiting for that first round pick. Again, Elliot Friedman reporting on Tanev and saying that, yes, the Flames are kind of just waiting to see who bites and see who gives the best offer. No sense in rushing this along, as there's many teams breaking down the door for Chris Tanev right now, and for good reason. The guy is an elite defenseman. I would love to see the Jets, make a move. They don't have their first, obviously, but if they want to move a second and whatever it takes to get Chris Tanev for the playoff run, I think that would be fantastic. But in the end, I don't think the odds of getting Tanev are really that great. Now, if we continue looking at who could be available, I've talked about Sean Walker before, right-hand shot defenseman, 29 years old, having a great season this year with the Flyers. He's a UFA, and I was thinking that he would be available, especially with Jamie Drysdale being traded to Philly. I thought that was the final nail in the coffin, but it seems like the Flyers are looking to re-sign him. So if he does get re-signed, obviously not going to be available. So I don't know. It really just depends what Philly is asking for him, and if they get what they're asking for, then maybe they do it. Obviously, I don't think they're getting a first or anything for Sean Walker, but it just seems like his availability is lesser and lesser as the days go on. And one more guy I just want to throw in here. I don't know if he was ever really available, but Jacob Chychrun from the Ottawa Senators. He's got a year left after this year on his contract. I don't get the sense that Ottawa is really looking to move out any of their core pieces or their young players, and if they do get to that point, it'll be next trade deadline or next off-season or whatever, right? But it doesn't seem like Jacob Chychrun is going anywhere right now. So now, who does make sense for Winnipeg to go after? Well, the list has shrunk quite a bit. I still think that Chris Tanev would be a great fit if Winnipeg can find a package that would work. But after that, it does kind of slim down a little bit. But there are guys that I think would be able to fit in the lineup and be good fits for Winnipeg. And that starts with number one, the guy that I'm going to be talking about. Maybe a little bit out there, maybe a little bit under the radar, Erik Goodbranson. Now, some of you, if you haven't watched too many Columbus games this year, might be going, oh, this guy, this idiot, and click off the video. I understand. I was never a big Erik Goodbranson fan myself. He got a pretty large contract from the Columbus Blue Jackets a couple off seasons ago. He currently has 2 more seasons after this one at $4 million. At the time, I thought it was a stupid contract, but he's actually looked really good. He's looked damn good this season and just has been a pillar defensively for the Blue Jackets. And with how good the Jets are defensively, imagine a pairing of Brendan Dillon and Erik Goodbranson. that might be kind of nuts. Or even, you know, Sandberg and Gudbranson. I think that would work fantastic as well. That's a guy that I think can really play anywhere. He's huge, by the way, as well, 6'5", 222. He is 32 years old, you know, so a little bit up there in age already, but he would fit in perfect. He'd be mean in the playoffs, just really tough to play against. I think this would be a slam dunk get for the Jets if they were able to, you know, maybe make a move. I don't think it would cost a ton considering he makes $4 million, you know, per cap hit, and the Jets definitely have the cap space. Maybe a 2, maybe even less, taking on that much cap. I don't know. I think that it would work out for Winnipeg big time, and Columbus is in a position right now where I think they're looking to move some cap, move out some money, and you know, I don't really know if Erik Gudbranson really fits the timeline that the Columbus Blue Jackets have with how young of a team they have. But he's been having a real good year, 3 goals, 14 assists for 17 points through 50 games, being just really solid defensively this year. I think this guy would be awesome. Next up here, we've got right-hand shot defenseman from the Arizona Coyotes, former Minnesota Wild defenseman for a long time, Matt Dumba. Now, Matt Dumba has kind of fallen off the face of the NHL for me. I kind of even forgot this guy existed, to be honest. He was really good for the Wild for quite a while, actually. He's only 29 years old at the time of making this video, 6 foot tall, listed about 180, but this is a guy that plays tough. He plays hard. Block shot machine, he can box out, he can even add a little offense. This year, you know, offense hasn't been super easy to come by for him, only 9 points in 51 games. However, he's just been very solid for Arizona. And this is, again, a guy that can eat minutes, play tough, block shots, just fit in defensively with what the Winnipeg Jets have going on with their structure. I think he could be a really good fit, and I just think he fits the mold exactly with what Winnipeg's looking for, and I don't think he'd cost that much. Dumba last offseason signed a 1-year, $3.9 million deal with the Arizona Coyotes, and that's really not that much cap-wise. I mean, I'm sure that some will be retained. I'm sure the Jets could get them to retain 50% or something, make that $1.8 million. They could still make another move if they wanted to. This is just such an easy move for Winnipeg to do. I think it really fits what they're looking to do, and I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Dumba's a Jet by the end of the trade deadline. And the last player that I'm going to be talking about here is Ilya Lyubushkin from the Anaheim Ducks. Lyubushkin, just one of those guys that can play very well defensively, probably more suited as a bottom pair guy, but if you need him to play in the top 4, that's just fine. Fits exactly what Winnipeg's looking for structure-wise, just a really strong veteran defenseman that can eat minutes, block shots, play Winnipeg Jet hockey, and that's, you know, Ilya Lyubushkin in a nutshell. And his contract really isn't that bad. He is a UFA at the end of the season, so he would be a rental player, makes $2.75 million right now, very digestible. Some of that can be retained, I'm sure, as well. And he'd be a nice cheap add if the Jets really can't find anything else. If they need to upgrade the decor, I think he'd be fine. He's tough to play against, he's big, he's mean, he can kill penalties. Jets need some help on the penalty kill. If Neil Pionk has to be out there for one more penalty kill, I'm going to die. I hate watching him on the penalty kill. I think Lyubushkin would be a fine ad if, you know, they can't find anybody bigger, if the market kind of dries up. I think Lyubushkin would be perfect. But that's all that I've got today, guys. I just thought this would be kind of an interesting video to make, as a lot of the top defensemen I don't really see going to Winnipeg. Maybe the Jets still have a chance to get Chris Tanev, but right now I just don't think so. We'll have to see how that unfolds. But yeah, a lot of the bigger names off the board had to do some looking, had to do some scrounging for who I think could be on the Jets' radar, and I've come up with these names. So with that said, I am done. I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, leave a comment down below. Do you like any of these options? Are there options that I forgot? I want to hear down below. And yeah, definitely let me know who your ideal defenseman would be. I want you guys to go leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, that's all I've got today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Go Jets go. Bye-bye.